eateries, the styles. You know, yaar, main itna baat kar raha hu ki I'm getting actually, my mouth is truly watering. But I'm not gonna be delaying too much. I'd like to call on Mr. Arup Ratan Roy, National Head, Events and ABP Dailies, along with Mr. Kumar Shovan, General Manager, Hyatt Regency Kolkata, to kindly felicitate our jury members. Rohan, you need to smile. That sexy. I'm not going to say too much. Thank you, Arup, and Mr. Kumar Shovan, I would like you to stay with us on stage. Yes, the gentleman who's the boss of this beautiful hotel. All the hospitality, all the closeness, all the warmth. And now it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to unveil the Telegraph Food Guide 2021 in association with IIHM. I would like each of the jury members, along with Mr. Kumar Shovan, to be handing the book, and they will be unveiling it. Well, you can all come, don't come too close. Stay a little bit apart. Yes, maintain the physical distancing. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to kindly unveil, yes, the Telegraph Food Guide 2021. Watching the Telegraph Food Guide 2021 unveiling of the guide itself. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Kumar Shovan. It's such a pleasure, and thank you for the amazing hospitality. And you know, you guys truly rock. You know, I'm actually falling in love with that.
We'll see you more often.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we request our jury members to kindly be seated. It would be a pleasure to have, you know, right here being at the Hyatt, we always are going to have amazing food, and I'm sure I can see that. Oh, wow. So colorful. So each of the jury members are going to be munching a little bit while we are kind of engaging and talking. I can see the color, so colorful on stage, yeah? And a right place tonight, stage guide, food guide. I just said stage because I just can't forget, you know, the awesome jury members we have here today. So while these guys kind of dress up your table with the amazing food, we've got sanitizers if you want to take a wipe at it. And let me tell you, your mics have also been sanitized, so not to worry when you hold them. It's absolutely safe. Wow, the drinks have come in, and I think the food is also on the way. So you can actually munch while you talk. We're having a small food out there, everybody, on Facebook Live and on the live stream. Right here live from the Hyatt Regency. It's going to be a little talk from the heart, a little talk from the mouth, depending on what you want to say. And we're definitely going to look into all the tastes. Okay, yes. We have this, oh, you know what? Looking at that lovely lineup of stuff Harv is actually putting on the table, I'm forgetting about the food item and I'm only thinking about the food. This is awesome. You know, you guys think, oh, you must take a sip. Enjoy it while we talk. Don't feel shy, you're looking too serious. You know, I've always seen you surrounded by beautiful women and smiling. And it's happening right now, so let's see that smile on the face. Amazing, yeah. Okay, right up close to the table, we are seeing this beautiful, colorful combination of food and drinks, courtesy Hyatt Kolkata, Hyatt Regency Kolkata. And, oh Sean, I just love it. He started off, you guys take a tuck in and bite. Okay, talking about food, I just want to ask each of you all a simple question. Being jury members and going through so many, categories, was it tough? Anyone just takes the mic and say, what do they want to say? Rohan, go man, go.
Hi. So of course it's really tough because choosing from, firstly, there are such amazing restaurants in the city. Firstly, categorizing them is really difficult, but hats off to the people team for doing that. I think it's one of the best selections of restaurants in the city that they've categorized. And for us, I think it gets even more difficult because it's choosing the best out of the best.
Amazing.
So yeah, I think we had a tough time, and I think we ended up arguing about a couple of brands too. But yeah, I think it was.
It's jagda over khana. When you're selling down, there's no problem.
Absolutely. And खाने से आगे तो कुछ है नहीं. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, what's your favorite dish?
My favorite dish is biryani, of course.
Anybody ask in the city of Calcutta, they say biryani. What's the magic?
Magic, I think Sean would be.
Okay, I'm going to get to this because there's a saying in Bengal, ladies first. Ever I call ladies second over here. So Ridhima, how was the judging? How was the choosing?
Well, I don't really see it as judging because I actually look forward to it every year. Because we were talking about this before, now I have to start thinking that I have another year ahead of me where I have to try out new places and eat. So yeah, that gives me all the encouragement and motivation to eat more and try out new places.
I was just going to ask you, there were quite a few winner category lists out here. Quite a few. Have you tried all of them out sometime or another? Most of them.
Most of them.
And you love all of them?
No, the restaurants which have won, I have definitely been to those.
Absolutely amazing. And let's what's your favorite grub? Food?
I just love food actually, but
Anything.
I'm more of a dessert person. But
My favorite dessert combi? What? Which one?
tiramisu.
Oh wow. Oh, you after the heart and of course girls. Okay, I'm going to jump to Sean now. Sean. You've been into food, you've been a foodie all your life. If I have to ask you, before I really get on to the judging category, if you had your favorite dish, of course you've got to tell us what's your favorite dish. And if you had someone gorgeous side by side, your favorite dish and someone gorgeous side by side, who would you choose or what would you choose?
Oh, what would you choose first?
Yeah. Go ahead, let us know.
What is the question?
So what would you
So,
choose?
as a chef, obviously, we choose beautiful women first.
Amazing, I like that.
I think chefs are more than known for that.
I know where you get your inspiration from. So what would be that favorite dish of yours beside the gorgeous person?
So obviously, as an industry professional, that depends on where I am in the world, what kind of restaurant I'm in. I think it changes every day. Changes every day. Good old Calcutta biryani, for sure.
Both of you all should beat the drum together. Seriously.
Well, there's something, anyway, technically I think it's just a beautiful, technically almost perfect pull-out, if you like. Almost in the Persian sense. And it just tastes good.
So amazing. Now, you've been a man who's seen it all in terms of food. You've checked it out. You can look at a dish and actually taste it without, tasting it. So, the Telegraph Food Guide Awards, how tough do you think it was when you all were actually going through, choosing the winners? Because, as I said, you've seen it all. You know it all. You know also behind the scenes. So how tough was it for you? Because it's like, you're getting up in the morning and having your breakfast. It's as easy as that for you.
So I think the Telegraph team can tell us this now. So I've been judging this right from the first one, which was, when was it? Was it 2006? Anybody can tell me? I think the first one we did was 2006.
So quite some time back.
So quite a long time ago. And obviously, we all sit in a room, we argue, we fight a little bit. Never comes to fisticuffs. But obviously there's some discrepancies where the Telegraph team might have to get involved and push people apart. But it's obviously it's a tough thing to choose. There's certain restaurants in the city, which I think we decided this year, that are heritage spaces that really we shouldn't keep talking about every year because they need to be in that heritage section and they'll be great forever. So that was where we came to this year, which makes sense.
So you've been at it over the years, right from the beginning. So the beginning and today, there must be a huge difference in terms of the way restaurants have come up, the way food joints have come up, the way Calcutta has come up in terms of having awesome eat-out places. So what's the difference when it was there and today, as per you?
So obviously I'm praying for our industry at the moment, just like many industries, obviously. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the next year? I mean, I think we had a good season in Calcutta, but that was dropped dramatically, obviously. There's more and more people getting COVID at the moment. It's a really challenging time. And there's lots of industry professionals out on the streets, practically, but I don't know when that's going to come to an end. There's been incredible changes in the city. If I look at India, how much India's changed in the last 10 years, as far as F&B is concerned. Like 10 years ago, up until 10 years ago, Mumbai was always 10 years ahead of any other city in the country. I still think it's probably 5 years ahead of any other city in the country. But Calcutta's, in the last 3-4 years, has gone drastically, really quite dramatically. Lots of new restaurants opening at the moment, lots of brands coming into Calcutta. Even during COVID times, there's lots of restaurants opening over the next 6 months, which a lot of people are going to be excited about.
In fact, some opened up in January, December.
Yeah,
also
I mean,
last week.
December, January, so many places opened up. So, I mean, it's a great sign for the industry. I think we're all hoping positively. But we'll just have to see what the next...
I'm sure, I always say the mantra of positivity actually leads in a beautiful way up ahead, and we all look forward to it. I remember, as the saying goes, in 1918 it was the Spanish flu. The entire world went through it. 100 years later, we are still here. And we are going through another pandemic. But I'm sure we will come out, and we'll come out much stronger.
So if we go back a little bit, so this year I've been in India, in Calcutta, for 20 years. So I remember when I first came to India, and I was in Delhi the first year, and on a daily basis, I couldn't get something like an iceberg lettuce, a red capsicum, a zucchini on a daily basis. Even in the capital, I couldn't get 20 years ago. So that's how far India has come now.
So great, you've seen it all, and I'm sure you're going to see it all more as we move forward into the brighter times, hopefully by this year itself, why not? And of course, now on with Richa. Richa, how are you feeling? Mike? Hungry. You're feeling hungry, and there's some awesome stuff there. You better munch into it a little bit. Take a sip of the drink. But tell me, you are a person who visits a lot of places. You've seen a lot. You've been a part of the city for quite some time, of course, coming from outside. And you've been a judge at many events. How tough is the Telegraph Food Guide Awards in terms of, judging, in terms of checking out? Because, there are so many things. There may be 5 things in front of you, and you love all the 5. But you've got to choose 1 or 2. So how tough was it for you?
Well, this was my first time, Jimmy, and I was really enjoying it when we were judging, because it was, as Rohan said, that it was difficult for us to choosing best out of so many best. And I myself is a cook, and going to different places and tasting the food, and again judging. And Telegraph, which is always Telegraph is always for their honesty. So for us, definitely it was the same, and we had to take out the best. So I would like to congratulate. And Jimmy, I want to tell you that, I can cook, I can make 70 kind of parathas, stuffed parathas.
We must go over to a place,
70.
100%.
We don't know, we've not been invited. So we don't know on this.
You can add on to the menu,
And you have to bring a pair of shoes. If you bring a pair of shoes with you, you'll be invited for sure. Chefs, I get invited.
No, but this is a special food designer shoe for her. Pakati hai yaar.
What is it?
I'm just talking creatively
Why don't
now.
you make a paratha themed shoe?
Yeah.
I'm just talking creatively.
Aloo stuffed inside, right? Yeah.
No, but have you actually tried? I want to ask all of you, that 10 parathas on top of one on the other, it's like pizza, and you just cut it, and it's very
You're,
difficult
you're,
to
you're
eat.
talking about a single person trying it out?
Yeah.
Or maybe, maybe the audience here today has
I'm guessing with the size of Richa, I'm guessing she's never tasted that.
No, okay, well, we're talking about food and talking about the way you cook and the awesome dishes you make. What's your favorite dish?
Well, I love to eat South Indian, and I'm so glad that
Slim and
everybody
trim.
is
Secret
also.
of being slim and trim now. Well, you love to eat South Indian, that's amazing. Okay, enough of, being tough and not judging. But tell me, Rohan, in your spare time, are you a foodie? You love eating, you love partying, you love going out.
He's like the champion of
I look like a foodie. Just look at this.
If you look like a foodie, then I don't know what I look like.
You look like a restaurant if I
So,
say.
so when we're going through the whole list, he's like, this is great there, this is great. He knows,
one second.
he knows all the best brew pubs in the city, all the best nightclubs.
I would
When
just,
he's
when you said this is the best, are you sure you were talking about restaurants and nothing else?
He's talking about individual dishes in every place on the list.
Wow, that's great. How do you manage that?
Um,
I'm just asking you, are these places having wonderful hostesses? Because, they have these ladies who stand at the entrance and welcome you.
I think he just enjoys it.
I just enjoy it. Thank
Enjoy
you.
the food or something else?
Food for starters, yeah, and then I mean,
But I just love those designer things. Is that your creation?
yes, it is.
Can you just check it out? Just can you check it out? I just want to check it out.
I don't have long, sexy legs. I'm
No,
sorry.
I know you have not long sexy legs, but the quick lady who really moves fast, and I love that. Yeah, I love that. Sean, you were talking about 3 people who can cook. I mean, of course, don't worry. He can also. He can cook up stories, and I'm sure his stories are very tasty and educative.
Very warming.
So, Sean, you know, if I tell you right now this beautiful event which is happening and we are online, if I tell you, Sean, I want you to cook up something special, what would be the first thing would you come to your mind if you were given a kitchen right now? What would you do for all of us?
That's a good one.
So, special for me, or special
No,
for
special, just generally, you know, you get the pulse of the crowd.
And how much time do I have?
Huh?
How much time do I have?
Oh, well, take half an hour.
Half an hour? So, share the part, maybe, I think.
Uh-huh.
I will share or something. Something like that.
So that was quick, that was quick. Ron, I want to ask.
That would be something that I've done and know everybody else.
Uh-huh. I'm going to ask you this question. इतना टेंशन नहीं होना
नहीं सर पूछे ना
Your favorite dish. Yes. Here it is. And your finest shoe beside it. Which one would you choose?
So all the shoes of mine are really fine.
Uh-huh.
All of them.
All of them.
All of
Hey,
them.
but there must be that special
Absolutely.
dil ki baat.
Absolutely not. All of them are really
He
special.
believes in this policy, variety is the spice of
So
life.
food, any day, any day.
Food any day. I love this guy being honest, you know.
Absolutely.
You know, over the passion over this thing. You know, that's why, you know, when we come to the Telegraph, absolutely unputdownable. And even when they choose with such a fantabulous jury, you know, you come up with the creme of selection of the best places in the city of Calcutta. And somewhere around the food guide, you know, is going to be available at bookstores all across at $200 book, but it's an important thing to have with you all because you can actually get into that and check out where the best of stuff is available. Many of us don't know where to go because we feel confused. I think that's one encyclopedia you should have in your hand year on year to know where to actually eat out. In these beautiful times, I just, you know, like to kind of end off today and tell everybody, as Sean said, we are going through tough times, but that doesn't stop us from moving forward. And the only way we can positively move forward is taking all the precautions, irrespective of when, where, and how. Even today, we will be going to restaurants, we'll be going to evening places. I think if we maintain the protocol, things would be much better, things would be more safer, and we would enjoy ourselves. And, you know, before we go, Sean, Richa, Ridhima, and Ron, I'd like you all to give a word to the world which is watching you all on Facebook Live. What would you like to tell the world, which is India is watching, Calcutta is watching, Bengal is watching, the world is watching you. What would you like to tell the world?
It's obviously challenging times, as we discussed enough, I think. But I think, particularly for India, and I'm talking about India here, India is going to come out of this much better than most countries in the world, for sure, 100%. I think everybody knows that already, all the scientists, all the economists, they know already that India is actually still doing quite well financially. So I'm excited about India, obviously. Every industry is going to have a very different landscape moving forward. I think we all need to be prepared for changes that happen and take on those changes and challenges and make the most of it, because I think, if anything, the world has sped up 20 years in the last year. I think whatever's going to happen in the future is going to be very different from what's happening now, but we just need to be ready for it. And that's all. It's very straightforward. If you're not willing to change, then you might fall by the wayside. That's the biggest problem for a lot of people.
Move with times and it's important. Richa, what would you like to tell the world?
We just have to be careful, and this one sentence that raat ke baad subah bhi zarur aati hai, so we just need to maintain few protocols and we will sail through this. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Lalima, what would you like to tell the world?
I would just like to say that it's been a year that we've been going through this. We have survived this entire year. I'm sure we can do it for some more time. We just need to be responsible and not just think about ourselves but others as well. So please wear your mask and sanitize.
This is what you say, Tariq Dil Singh. Ron, awesome smile.
So I think, the rest of the 3 jury members have actually just said everything. So I would just repeat whatever they've said, like Sean said, changing times. We have to change or fall by the wayside, and wearing a mask and social distancing more than yourself, I think it's for the rest of the people around you. So wear a mask, maintain social distancing, and continue with what you're doing. Just take the precautions. So yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been a beautiful evening. We announced the Telegraph Food Guide Awards today. Thanks to all our jury members who played an important part to it. And of course the T2 team, which actually was, the base and the pillars behind it. A big hand to them. Telegraph, the unputdownable, it actually brings you stuff which no one can beat in terms of even whether it be a food guide, or whether it be anything. And we can actually look at it with all the truths, as Richa put it. And ladies and gentlemen, I think Sean wants to say something.
I was going to say a big thanks to the great, legendary Mr. Jim Tango.
Well, thank you so much. It's always been a pleasure to be among all of you all. And the audience on the Facebook live stream, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a wonderful evening. Yes, the launch of the Telegraph Food Guide 2021 today in association with IIHM, hospitality partner Hyatt Regency Kolkata, radio partner 91.9 Friends FM. Once again, a big thank you to my jury members out here, to everybody watching us, to the Telegraph, to T2 and everybody out there. Thank you, keep rocking, keep going, and hey, please stay safe. That's it for today, and everybody join us for dinner. You guys have seen it on Facebook Live. Well, thank you so much once again.